Matthew Zlat didn't become one of the strongest weighted calisthenics athletes because he was born stronger. He outsmarted almost everyone. While most people obsess over adding more exercises, more volume, or more weight, Matthew built his strength around a progression system that almost nobody follows. That's how he worked his way to 205-kilo weighted dips and 125-kilo weighted chin-ups. In this video, I'll reveal the 3 progression secrets Matthew Zlat used, so you can finally start making consistent progress in weighted calisthenics. Secret number 1. Master fewer exercises. The first secret is something most people completely overlook. They think building elite strength means constantly adding more exercises, more variations, and more complicated routines. But Matthew Zlat took the opposite approach. Instead of chasing endless exercises, he focused on mastering a small number of powerful movements. A main pull, a main push, and a main leg exercise. And then he repeated them over and over again. Because strength isn't built by doing everything. It's built by becoming extremely good at a few things. When you repeat the same movements week after week, your technique improves, your body becomes more efficient, and every workout becomes a chance to beat your previous performance. This is why Matthew can keep adding insane amounts of weight while many people stay stuck using the same numbers for years. But choosing the right exercises is only the first step. The real question is, how do you keep progressing once those weights start getting heavy? Because adding 5, 10, or even 20 kilos forever isn't realistic. Matthew has a specific method for increasing the difficulty over time. And that takes us to secret number 2, how Matthew actually progresses. The second secret is where Matthew's training becomes completely different from the way most people approach weighted calisthenics. Because eventually, everyone reaches the same problem. At the beginning, progress feels easy. You add 5 kilos, then another 5 kilos, and your numbers keep going up. But as you become stronger, that stops working. The difference between someone who stays average and someone who reaches elite strength is knowing how to keep progressing when progress slows down. Most people make one of 2 mistakes. They either increase the weight too aggressively, forcing themselves into ugly reps, bad form, and eventually a plateau. Or they wait too long and keep using the same weight even though their body is ready for more. Matthew avoids both mistakes by using a much smarter approach. Instead of making random jumps, he treats progression like a calculated process. Every workout gives him information about whether he should increase the load, maintain it, or slightly adjust it. The key is that he doesn't only focus on the weight around his waist. He uses his performance, especially his reps, to decide the next step. The way this works is simple. Your last set determines how much weight you add in the next session. Let's say you're doing weighted dips with 40 kilos, and your target is between 5 and 8 reps. If you complete all your sets and your final set reaches 8 clean reps, that means you've mastered that weight. So you can make a bigger jump and add 5 kilos next workout. But if your final set is only 7 reps, you haven't fully reached the top of the range yet, so you make a smaller increase of 2.5 kilos. If your last set finishes at 6 reps, you add only 1.25 kilos. This is where microweights become extremely important. When you're already strong, adding big jumps can destroy your progress. A 5-kilo increase might seem small in the beginning, but when you're doing heavy weighted dips or chin-ups, it can be the difference between progressing and failing. And if you can't even complete 5 reps on your final set, that's a sign the weight is currently too heavy. Instead of forcing bad reps, you slightly reduce the load and build your way back up. This system removes the guessing completely. You're not increasing weight because of ego, and you're not staying stuck because you're afraid to move up. Every increase is earned based on your actual performance. That's how Matthew can continue building strength at levels where progress naturally becomes slower. He isn't relying on motivation or trying to destroy himself. He's simply creating a system where every session moves him slightly closer to his goal. But progression alone isn't enough. You can have the perfect system for adding weight, but if you aren't giving your body enough opportunities to practice those movements, your progress will slow down. And that's where the third secret comes in. Train movements frequently. The third secret is the one that connects everything together. You can choose the perfect exercises, and you can have the smartest progression system. But if you don't practice those movements often enough, your progress will eventually slow down. This is another area where Matthew takes a different approach from most people. A lot of people believe that the best way to get stronger is to destroy a muscle once a week with a huge amount of volume. But strength doesn't only come from damaging muscle. Strength comes from repeatedly practicing the exact movement you want to improve. Matthew focuses on training his main movements frequently, usually hitting each movement at least twice per week. Think about it like any skill. If you want to become better at something, you don't practice it once every 7 days and expect maximum progress. You repeat it consistently, allowing your body and nervous system to become more efficient. The same thing happens with weighted calisthenics. Every time you perform weighted pull-ups, dips, or another main movement, you're not only training your muscles, you're improving your ability to control your body, maintain proper form, and produce more force. This becomes even more important as the weights get heavier. When you're doing 100+ kilo weighted dips or extremely heavy chin-ups, the movement itself becomes a skill. The small details matter: your technique, your stability, and your ability to repeat strong reps. Training these movements more frequently allows you to refine those details instead of constantly restarting. But there is an important balance. More frequency doesn't mean doing endless sets every day. The reason Matthew's approach works is because the volume stays controlled. The goal is to leave the session knowing you can come back and perform even better next time. And the reason I broke down these 3 principles is because they are the exact foundation behind my own weighted calisthenics system. I took these ideas and turned them into a complete framework: which exercises to focus on, how to progress them, how to structure your week, and how to keep building strength without constantly guessing what to change. Because the hardest part isn't knowing that progressive overload works. The hardest part is knowing exactly what to do, when to increase the weight, and how to keep progressing when things get difficult. That's what the system is designed to solve. If you want to follow the same principles and have the entire plan laid out step by step, I'll leave the link below.